What is going on, members of the Shy Guy Squad? My name is Dan, otherwise known as Danekii, and welcome to another NPL video. This will be week 6 and week 7 against ThatFries and Andrew of the Portland Trail Blazikens and the Rotterdam Staraptors, respectively. And we have like two teams here that we're gonna have to go. I'm not gonna go over the teams, but I will like mention to you guys some of the stuff after the battle has been done. But the first match here that we're going to watch today is against ThatFries of the Rotterdam Staraptors, who at the point of this match are currently 0-5 and we are 2-3. Yeah, 2-3 sounds right. Going into this match, I was kind of scared because, I don't know, the thing about my draft is I really like it, but I've had so many, like, my draft is good on paper, but I have so many bad matchups. But for my match this time, I brought my Rhyperior, which I actually noticed after the battle was itemless, which was very unfortunate. That was a bit of a oversight on my prep, and I completely missed what kind of item I had on Rhyperior, which ended up being nothing at all, so that's kind of unfortunate. I brought a Serena. I'm honestly going to go look at what these sets were real quick, so sorry, this is a bit unprofessional, but I kind of don't remember because it's been so long since this match. So I had a specially defensive leftover Serena, an assault vested Honchcrow, a Black Sludge, sub Nasty Plot, a Salazzle, a Megalopony with Entrainment, never mind, I can't read, Entrainment, and a Tangaberry Latios, because he did have a Scolipede on his team that could have been a huge threat to me. But with that being said, though, let's just look at the match and see how it went against Ryan. I'm going to put the normal secondary, but decent speed. So I'm going to lead off with Tanya. He's going to lead off with Concord, and I can tell this thing is a Scarf Staraptor, because honestly, you don't see a lot of other Staraptor sets normally. And I switched into Rhyperior here. I'm a bit sick, sorry about that. But he goes for U-turn here, which is a very nice play on his part, and he goes into Dofi, the Tapu Fini, and gets the special attack drop. Not that it matters too much, as my Serena only has Drop Kick, Synthesis, U-turn, and Rapid Spin. So I go for a U-turn here as I catch the Staraptor switching in. I switch back into Kakapakapu because, I mean, it's my switch into Staraptor period. It forces him to U-turn and then switch into something else. Now, in comes Starscream as a set of rocks, because I gotta force some damage on him, because his defoggers are this thing and Tapu Fini. Now, he does miss Draco Meteor, which is very unfortunate, but it wasn't Misty Terrain, so it wouldn't have done that much. But he does get the defog off, which is good for him. And I take an assload of damage. He takes an assload of damage from Brave Bird, and I do take some decent recoil. As he goes for U-turn here, so if I would have just Brave Bird, I would have knocked him out. But I was a bit afraid of a lot of stuff, to be honest. I was afraid he was going to knock me out. Maybe a bit of a misplay. Maybe I was afraid of a switch or something. Not 100% sure, but I probably should have just attacked right there. But I go back into Rhyperior and the U-turn as he goes into this thing, so he's going to be forced to switch again into Starscream, the Latios, and I go for Rock Blast, and some Hex God was looking at me and be like, alright, cool, we'll let you deck this thing out. So I do get 5 hits on the Latios, which is enough for me to knock it out, as I did a consistent 15% per hit. Now he goes into Nidoking instead of Stealth Rocks, and then he goes for that. I go for Dark Pulse here, expecting to switch into Cofagrigus, but he did not do that. So I do lose my Crowhogan, which is very unfortunate. But I'm now going to go into Stardust Dragon, rev it up, and knock out Armday with a Psyshock. So what he goes now is he goes back into Concord, which is his Staraptor. I'm going to pull a double again, back into Kakapakapu, which again, at this point, it's starting to become a bit of a misplay, and I'm playing very predictably, as in every time that thing switches in. Everything Concord switches in, or Staraptor, I switch into my Rhyperior, which is starting to get a bit annoying, I guess. And he goes for a Moonblast here and puts me to I have a chance to live here. He did 35 last time, I was 34.9, but he gets a low roll, which is enough for me to click Synthesis, which is very, very nice for me. Because now this will give me the opportunity to potentially spin, as long as he doesn't go into the Cofagrigus, but he goes into Staraptor, so I am able to get that spin off, and now he's cloned to click U-turn, and I remember this, honestly. I'm gonna click here. What happened this turn, I could not control, because I was clicking like skip turn, I think, because I was just like moving a little bit fast after the rapid spin, and it just locked in U-turn, and Fries also clicked this move super fast, so I couldn't cancel what's gonna happen next, and it made me really upset. Not that it probably didn't matter in the long scheme of things, but it did get me very upset. So I'm gonna click U-turn here, which was completely unintentional, and I did not mean to, and I lose my Alexis Rhodes to Rocky Helmet damage now when I could have potentially clicked roulette. So I go into Lopunny here, which was also a misplay. Honestly, I just wanted to put off. I just kind of wanted to style on him by using an entrainment, but of course I was like, why did I switch it in? That makes no sense. So I go into Stardust here as he sets up an agility, and here I make another misplay here. So what I was thinking, right, if you're looking at my team right now, if he gets a Baton Pass, if he gets +2 speed into his Tapu Fini, I just lose right here. Like, I instantly just lose 3-0 right here to Fries and his Rotterdam Staraptors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go by the assumption that he is going to click Baton Pass, and I'm going to end up, after he clicks Flare Blitz, I'm going to click Thunderbolt instead of Psyshock, because I expected a switch out, but that was a misplay on my part. So he does connect the high jump kick, which is very good for him, but very unfortunate for me. So I'm going to have to send in Salazzle now, take this whatever hit he wants to throw off, and knock him out with a Sludge Wave. Now the thing is, another thing that could have prevented this from happening was if I was Life Orb, I could have potentially done something here. So I'm going to swap out my, I'm going to swap into my Lop because it was my only sack to this thing. And now I can go into my Rhyperior, because let's get my only switch into this Staraptor, knowing that its Scarf is going to attack. So I'm going to click the Crunch because it was super safe and it would knock out Concord, and if he did swap out, then I mean I would have gotten some damage off. Like, it was just guaranteed. So he goes for Surf right here, and here's the thing, if I would have been Life Orb Salazzle, as Salazzle only has had one hit off, I did run the calc and he told me to set and stuff, I would have had a chance to knock him out, a chance in my favor to knock him out with my Salazzle. But since I am Black Sludge, I only get a 76%. He's Mega Barrier, which is pretty interesting, but he is going to knock out my Salazzle and pick up a 1-0 W. Now, not to take away from Fries, it's very unfortunate. I just, like, for me, it's kind of a rough feeling, because up until this point, Fries has never won a game. And being that guy who loses to a winless team is always a kind of sucky feeling. But it was a very good game. I did a couple misplays, but oh well, what can you do? You don't win them all, but I commend Fries for taking a W here, so nobody had to go winless. I feel a little bit crap about it, but I mean, that's besides the point. Go game to Fries and the Rotterdam Staraptors. Now the thing about this game was I was sure I was out of playoffs by this point. Again, after losing to Fries. But there were two chances that could put me into playoffs. One is in next week's match, which we will go over soon. If Fries beat Eric and I beat Andrew by any score, Andrew being Mewisthebest. If Fries beats Eric by any score and I manage to win my game, I'm in playoffs as 4th seed or something like that. If Eric beats Fries, I have to 5-0 Andrew, or 6-0 him. Those are the two scores that I can get in order to get into playoffs. And the game is right here. I will quickly run over the team that I brought, and we'll take a look at the match after that. So, for my Week 7 match against Andrew, I have a Adamant Lopunny with Ice Punch, Power Up Punch, High Jump Kick, and Retard. I have a Salazzle Life Orb with Fire Blast, HP Ice, Sludge Wave, and Substitute. I have a Choice Scarf Compound Ice Galvantula with Volt Switch, Thunder, Hidden Power Ice, and Bug Buzz. I have a Babiri Berry Rhyperior with enough Spadef to take a Corkscrew Crash from Magearna or a +2 Flash Cannon. It's also Adamant with Earthquake, Stone Edge, Ice Punch, and Rock Polish with enough speed to outspeed Max Speed Thunderous Eye at +2. I have a Honchcrow A Murder Crow with Brave Bird, Heat Wave, Sucker Punch, and Pursuit. And lastly, I have Silvally Fire with Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Parting Shot, and Ice Beam. So that is the team that I brought against Andrew. Oh, I'm really sorry about this, guys. But as you guys can see, Andrew's brought himself Thundurus, Emboar, Starmie, the Threat Magearna, Mega Aerodactyl, and the Omastar. So let's just check how this battle went. So I'm going to lead off with my Sparkman, my Elemental Hero Sparkman, and he's going to lead off with Clyde Drexler. I'm going to Volt Switch here into Neos, my Lopunny, as he's going to go for the Shell Smash. And already here, this is raising some flags, because as you guys can see, he's going to go for Protect, expecting like a Fake Out or something like that. And this is kind of scary, because this is a +2/+2/+2 Omastar. And Omastar is kind of strong, with a special attack of base 115, which means that by just touching something on my team, that's ow. But he's gonna go for Protect as I go for Power Plunge. And this turn is very unfortunate for Andrew, which is why I think personally he should have just packed Surf. But he's gonna go for Hydro Pump and he misses, and that is absolutely huge. Because if he would have landed it, he probably could have swept my team right there. He probably would have been able to destroy everything on my team from the word go. But he does miss. He does have that 20% chance against him of Hydro Pump landing, and they did come back to bite him in the ass. So I do get up a Power Punch, which will power up my Lopunny. So he's going to switch into, so my opponent here is going to switch into CJ McCollum's. And I'm not sure if I can take an Aerial Ace or not. But I think I calced it to be a roll, because he needs to be Adamant, or he needs to be Jolly to outspeed at max speed Lop. So I expect him to be Jolly where I have a chance to live or something like that, and I just gotta go for it. And my opponent decides to try to bluff and pulls a double as I go for an Ice Punch as he goes into Starmie. Now this thing could very well be Scarf. I'm going to pause a lot this match because there's a lot of things I need to go through. This thing could very well be Scarf, and if it is, that is very unfortunate, but then I'll have a switch in regardless of what move he clicks. Click Psyshock, I have a Honchkrow and Honchkrow that can go into and just Pursuit kill it. I can go into Rhyperior. If he goes for a water move, I have my Scarf Galvantula in the back. So knowing that, I'm just going to click Return this turn, and he is not Scarf, so I knock him out. So Damian Lillard is also down, so we're up 6-4. He goes into Wesley Matthews right here, and I go for High Jump Kick, because the thing about Lopunny is at +1, it has a chance to knock it out. A pretty big one at that if he's uninvested in health. If he's max health, it's still a roll that is more in my favor. It's a bit like a 56.7% chance or something like that to Oko, so I did try to go for it. Unfortunately, I don't get the roll, and he sets up a Trick Room. Now, the only switch I have to a Magearna is my Silvally Fire, so I am going to make that swap. Now, I am just going to click Ice Beam as he drops the Z Gigavolt Havoc, the Z Thunderbolt that does 50% to my Electrum. I click Ice Beam here for one reason and one reason only. If he were going to switch out to him, he would probably find himself the Fire Resist, which could be Emboar. Yes, it could very well be Emboar, but I would expect it to be something like Aerodactyl or even potentially a switch into like Thundurus. I had a more probable chance of hitting something hard with Ice Beam over Flamethrower, which is why I decided to click it. I could have also clicked Parting Shot, but that would have been way too risky. So I did end up going for Ice Beam, and as you guys can see, Wesley Matthews has dropped the Iron Ball or whatever. It's a reference to wrestling or something. So he sends it Emboar right here in Trick Room, and I need to stall 2 turns. I need these 2 turns to be gone so my team can get that speed advantage it needs. So I'm going to go into Salazzle here because I expect him to click Superpower and not Flare Blitz, and I'm only allowed to sack 1 Pokemon. And Salazzle is the most expendable at this point. So Lady Heat comes in, my elemental hero Lady Heat, takes the Superpower like a champion, and drops to this Flare Blitz. So I need... Hold on. So right now, here's the thing. I don't have another sack. I need to knock out 3 Pokemon without losing a single Pokemon on my set. Trick Room is gone, which is very, very nice for me. So now I can send in whatever I need to do do my bit. So I send in Air Hummingbird, go for Brave Bird, and completely just knock out Blaze the Trail. So that's very nice for me. Murder Crow has done its thing. Next up, he sends in CJ McCollum's, which is his Aerodactyl. And I have a switch into this being Rhyperior, but if he has Aqua Tail, and clicks it, which would be his best play in my opinion. If he has Aqua Tail, I would click it. If I was in Ender's position, I would click Aqua Tail right now, because that is the only play he has to make to get a kill essentially, because that's all he needs. If he knocks out one Pokemon from my team, he gets that 4-0, and that means that if Eric won his match this week, which spoiler alert, he did, I will be knocked out in playoffs and he will stay in playoffs, because literally this is between us two. If I win 5 or more, Andrew stays in playoffs. And if I get knocked out, like if Honchkrow here drops or anything drops for that matter, I'm not going to participate in playoffs for NPL Minor Season 4? 3? 3? Pretty sure it's 3. Yeah, Season 3. I'm so sorry you guys, I'm too... Like, being sick is just messing with my head. But yeah, so if anything drops, I'm not going to be able to participate in playoffs for Minor Season 3. And if I manage to keep everything alive from here on out, I will go to NPL Minors Season 3 playoffs. So I'm going to click play and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to swap out into Rhyperior, like I said, my Elemental Hero Clayman. CJ McCollums is going to Mega Evolve and go for Aerial Ace. And I was like, oh, an opening. I'm going to hard switch into my Galvantula because this is the only switch into Aqua Tail I have. If he does have Aqua Tail and clicks it, this was my only switch in to be able to score something on this Aerodactyl. But he goes for Stone Edge, which was the perfect play for him to do. He needed to do that. He needed to make that prediction. But sadly, he misses the Stone Edge, which is very unfortunate for my opponent, which is going to allow my Sparkman to click Thunder, and that is going to make CJ McCollum's drop. In comes Lamarcus Aldridge. I'm Scarf, I know I outspeed it. I'm just going to click Thunder one more time, because there's nothing he can do that OHKOs me. Does 71.6%. That is also very important. I don't think there's anything this thing can do to me, but he pulls out the Incinerate. Now this scares me right here, because I have a 9% chance to miss. A 9% chance to lose my ticket to playoffs. If I miss my Thunder, if I do decide to stay in and go for it, if I miss my Thunder, I'm out of playoffs. I could switch into Lopunny here, but he could have Superpower or Focus Blast or something like that. He could click Thunderbolt pretty safely. I can't switch into Silvally because that thing is too weak, as you guys can see right here. This thing is at 35%. I can't switch into Rhyperior, risking the Grass Knot. I don't have a proper switch into Lamarcus Aldridge. And because of that, I'm gonna have to stay in and click. I'm gonna have to click Thunder. So if I miss right now, it's the end of our run for NPL Minor Season 3. But if I hit, we're going to playoffs. And if we do, we're taking on Bird of the Tampa Bay Frogadiers. Let's click resume on slow and see what happened. Well, that wasn't as slow as I expected, but as you guys can see, the Thunder did hit, the Lamarcus Aldridge did faint, and the Supreme King Jaden Yuki and his Elemental Heroes did in fact pick up the 5-0 W against Mewisthebest, Andrew, and the Portland Trail Blazikens, meaning that we are going to the playoffs, which is absolutely incredible, guys, and I did not expect this to happen after the loss to Fries, but we somehow miraculously did it, and that means there'll be more NPL for the weeks to come. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe and all that stuff to get more NPL content, Wi-Fi content, and all that stuff. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys in the next video. I'm gonna go lay down and get some rest. Peace.